Hello diecast enthusiasts, this is Hayden here, and this time I want to unbox this fella here. The 1 to 18 scale Kyosho or regional diecast model of the Ferrari 250 GTO, which ran on production for 3 years from 1962 to 1964. And first of all, I really appreciate this packaging alongside with a very well cushioned container for the actual model inside. And you can see the red and black. And I kind of like this shade actually. If you go online, you search for images, and especially for the 250 black, it kind of gets shadowed by the red Russell Corsair, or the red shade that Ferrari is famous for. But this glossy black is actually quite nice. It's a good shade. Still a good shade. Alright, let's look at the box. It's a price there. Obviously, I didn't pay for that much, thanks to a on eBay, and I won the bid at a fair fraction of the cost. And you can see the awesome rear view of this GTO. If I'm not wrong, this is actually the first ever GTO in Ferrari's history. And let's get started. Oh, it being a Kyosho product, it's a official licensed product, but their quality, I believe that they have lived up to that very same reputation. And obviously it's in the styrofoam container, and it's the best ever packaging in my own opinion. And it comes with two things, the model and the door opener tool. Well, this particular 250 GTO, as the numbers indicate how much displacement each cylinder has, and times 12, and wow, it is a 3-liter V12, and it has to be top of the racing technology during this time. And GTO stands for the Grand Touring or Homologated class, basically the class that accepts this particular displacement and powertrain layout, which this is obviously a rear-wheel drive car, and there were 39 ever units produced. And this particular GTO being the first ever and 3 in total in history so far, it was not designed by a specific individual or design house, but they actually collaborated enough to create such a masterful looking masterpiece, which I'm thankful for. So looking back at the GTO series, this one, the 250 GTO, 288 GTO, which is midship rear wheel drive car, and last but not least, the 599 GTO. This one actually looks more outstanding than the other two. Well, not because of the amount of history that it has, but how much it actually cost over in the auction house. And it sold for a record high of $35 million, and that was back in May this year. And it is a superb, outrageous price, like probably the most expensive car trade in history. But obviously I can't fathom how you could pay so much for a old car. wouldn't you prefer a higher performance modern car? But in this case, I have the diecast model, and it has so many intricate bits and knobs. So let's pause it for a little bit. You can see what I mean through the use of metal rim, like chrome trims around the car. Sorry, and chrome gas covers and door knobs, and some track equipment, track ready equipment on the front grille, headlamps, and I'm actually surprised by the fact that this car doesn't have mirrors. It would be kind of dangerous without them, right? Oy. And the amount of gimmicks or part opening is actually very well executed. Let's open them all first. This one's actually a little tricky. They have like plastic over here to replicate the belts and tie style that they used during that time, instead of it's actually quite similar. So you can see packs a very nicely detailed interior, and the hinge itself was actually quite well hidden, so you couldn't see it no matter how hard you try. And very interesting seat color. It's actually a light blue, and you could consider that as a bucket seat at that time period. It features a H metal gate gear transmission, and that actually that very tradition was carried down to even current days. You could still see it in their let's see, the F355, probably the Modena too, the 360 Modena, and you can see how far back the engine is placed. It may be at the front, but it's like a front middle part of the car, which makes it handle better. This car kind of reminds you of the Jaguar E-Type, which they had competed fairly often in European races. In the back, let's go over the top here. There's a spare tire. Not quite useful considering maybe you can just do a pit stop and not carry that around and reduce your overall weight. You can see that fantastic engine detail. There's a lot of wires going everywhere. That's quite well done. Although in person I couldn't see the dust, but you can see so much dust gathering on the black gloss here. Kind of a shame. The front, these three covers, they seem to be like a spot for extra light up / air intake. I'm not quite sure. I see photos of it opened and closed. So I think they went with a good setup of closed. This features a, factory interior, the semi steel tube construction to give it extra strength and rigidity. And even inside and the back, they have mesh behind it too. Is it mesh or a mesh style back cover to cover things up and reduce weight. Steering, so it does work, and it also features suspension, which is quite nice. So really beautiful model out of so many of Kyosho's models. So underneath you can see the rather flat underbody, the engine beautifully colored with their respective colors. And let's finalize this review here. I mean, this car has the looks, quite contemporary looks for years to come, and it's a fantastic design overall. I mean, a very long front, a very extended C-pillar to the rear, and with a stylish looking spoiler to give it extra downforce. Lots of brilliant lights to race in the dark. Mesh rims and brick discs. Fantastic metal use. Quite nice little lights, tail lights. I think I see why this car is so historic. Although this car is quite seriously, what should I say, the Jaguar E-Type appears in around their same period, and it actually costs less than this, but has better performance figures. And I think if I were to get a chance to get my next model, I might get the E-Type for the fun of it, maybe. Okay, let's just give you guys last turn around. I'll be zooming at spots that I think I missed out. Okay, I think that's it. Have yourself an awesome day.